Hey, the Biden administration's regulations have cost you and I, on average, about $10,000 per household. This is according to a report that's out of the University of Chicago. And they took a look at the Biden administration, the Obama administration, the Trump administration, and they published this thing, the Committee to Unleash Prosperity published this. And so we reach out to our political strategist friend and commentator from Young Voices, Benjamin Khoshbin, going to kind of take some of this apart for us. Hey, Benjamin, good morning. Welcome to the holiday weekend. What do you got planned? Are you cooking out? What are you doing?
Good morning. My plans are a little up in the air. If you've seen on the news, D.C. is covered in wildfire smoke, so unfortunately my kind of throws my grilling plans in a bit of a tizzy. So,
well, you know, you grill inside. Grilling's grilling. You know what I mean? Hey, so what are we talking about here? What are the details, Benjamin? What regulations are costing us specifically?
Sure. So, according to the report, it looks like the main cost burden was regulations on automobile fuel economy and emission standards. So those contributed the greatest single costs, but they still only accounted for about a third of the total regulatory costs. So, I mean, these regulations span every single industry. We got health, labor, telecom, consumer finance. Altogether, those areas actually exceeded the cost of automobile regulations. I mean, the Biden admin has been rulemaking like nobody's business, far more than President Obama and President Trump combined.
Wow. I don't think anyone would deny in life, I mean, especially if you're a parent, you got to have some rules. There are rules. If we have zero, then the pendulum swings completely the other way and you get chaos. However, the gray area, as we all know, comes when what rules are overreach, what rules aren't, and that's where we just none of us agree on anything. So the auto fuel economy thing, does any of the what were they trying to ban gas stoves or something like that in New York? Does any of that come into play? That's mainly in New York, isn't it?
Yeah, so on the federal level, there's only really been talks of banning gas stoves. I know there's been a few studies that have been commissioned. It looks like on the state level, that's really where folks have been talking about banning gas stoves on either the residential or the commercial level. So I don't think the federal government, they would be burning up a lot of political capital for something that is, in my opinion, totally unnecessary. But you see what I mean? Yeah,
I would imagine people out in Oregon they're probably doing it in Oregon too. I don't know. You can pick your state, but these are federal regulations that come into play. So auto fuel economy, what else you got?
Right. So there are a few things, and I do want to give, and the report actually does give the Biden administration credit. He has actually rolled back some important regulations. So it's not all bad, I want to say. One of the things I wanted to point out that he started and the Trump administration took to the finish line was, other way around. Trump started, Biden took to the finish line.
There you go.
Allowing hearing aids to be sold over the counter. So that's pretty great.
That's something I don't think about. I've been told I need them, but So you can sell hearing aids, which are not cheap, I will say that, boy. So you can sell hearing aids over the counter. There's something I didn't know.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And there's also some Trump initiatives during COVID on telehealth restrictions for insurance that Biden took to the finish line as well. So the report gives him some credit. He's actually had a better rate of rolling back regulations than President Obama. Under President Obama, he basically didn't deregulate at all in his first 2 years. So does it balance out? I'm not quite sure. I mean, like you said, the really high costs on the average household kind of tells me that it doesn't balance out. But I think this report is really, really great because, it provides you a balanced view. So, like you said, when you're looking at the fuel economy regulations, it really digs into gas vehicles because I think this is kind of a larger push from the Biden admin to transition, in my opinion, too quickly to electric vehicles.
Mm-hmm. And I think, doesn't the report project out, if at the current rate, if it stays the current rate, project out, say, a win by Biden in 2024?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, a win in terms of
presidency. If he wins the presidency in 2024, the one sentence I saw going into this was that it would the regulation would skyrocket.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean, exactly. That's exactly what would happen if he gets a second term. That gives him more time to take these to completion and also probably put more regulations in place. I mean, just in his first term, he's already surpassed Trump and Obama. So, I don't want to know what would happen if he had a whole another 4 years to put these regulations in place.
If we hands off has been the more hands off the government is or has been throughout history, it seems like anyway, and I'd love to know if there's reports on this, the better overall the country does.
Yes, I would totally agree. I mean, that kind of goes back to, Adam Smith and the invisible hand. I mean, I'm a firm believer that top-down economic planning, central planning, Soviet style never works. And I think a light touch approach is always going to be best. And we could, debate the specifics of that.
Well, that's the classic debate, is it not? That's the classic Democrat versus Republican debate at its core: bigger government versus less government. That's about it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and so I mean, you need some regulation, but like you said, I think a light touch is just better. And I think this cost, especially in a period of high inflation and an unstable economic environment. This cost per household is just totally unnecessary.
This report is out of the University of Chicago, and I like this name, the Committee to Unleash Prosperity.
Yeah,
man.
we need it.
Well, but that even says it, doesn't it, Benjamin? Benjamin Khoshbin, with Young Voices, political strategist, etc. When you unleash prosperity, when you unleash the creativity of the American mind and the chutzpah we have, that's the American profile, is it not? We are the explorers, we are the inventors, we're the creators. We've always done that.
Absolutely. We went to the moon, we split the atom, and I want us to be back on top. I mean, we're still the number one economy, but China's right on our tail, and I want to, make sure that we are doing everything we can to bring jobs back to America, to start making things here in America again, make sure that Americans are employed, whether you have a college degree or not. I want to revitalize the country, and I don't think that these excessive rulemakings are doing that.
Unleash prosperity. We want to unleash. I love it. All right, Benjamin Khoshbin, political strategist. By the way, again, you can sell hearing aids over the counter. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That is pretty cool.
I'm sorry, what? I didn't hear you. What? Sorry, what?
I don't think you need anyone.
Just kidding. All right. Hey, Benjamin, have a marvelous weekend. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
See you later. That last line I did just so I could say, what? I don't know if he got it. All right, fine. You can sell hearing aids over the counter. Pretty cool. 1320 WILS.